Hey, how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. I'm in beautiful Billings, Montana right now. I've got a delivery at 6 a.m. in the morning. And, yeah, it's like 50 degrees here today. Beautiful day. Other than driving into a 34-mile-an-hour wind, which was not fun. My fuel mileage is 6.4 miles a gallon today. Oh, my God. But, yeah, that's been a rough day with the wind. I'm getting rocked right now by the wind. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but yeah, the wind is to my back right now, so it's kind of rocking the truck forwards and back. These bull haulers out here, man, I salute these guys. Doing 70 mile an hour in flat front trucks in a 34 mile an hour wind. Man, you can't be getting much more than 3 miles a gallon maybe. I did 6.4, and you know, I got a 2016 Cascadia, and I was doing like 62. I just couldn't bring myself to bump it up anymore because that fuel mileage was dropping. You know, at one point I was up to like 6, 7, but then the afternoon, you know, going through the hills and stuff, kind of with the wind, had me down to 6.4 to finish the day. Not great. So, going to do a video today about some questions I got in my comments section, and while I'm on that topic, be sure to comment. I love comments. I try to answer them all. If not, I do a video like this to answer some of them. Be sure to subscribe. 76% of my watch time comes from non-subscribers. So if you're, you know, if you don't want to pimp me out, by all means, click that subscribe button, please. I do appreciate it. But yeah, I got 3 things I want to talk about real quick. Number 1, the quality Capital 19 quality leasing ceasing operations soon. Talk about that a little bit. Number 2, I had somebody ask me in the comments what's the best way to purchase a truck. We'll talk about that a little bit. And the other thing is booking freight. Someone wanted to know, you know, like a strategy for booking freight and that type of thing. So I'll get into that. For the first 2 months of the year, I probably booked about 80% of my freight. Now that I have the reefer trailer on me full time, I'll probably be booking 100% of my freight now. I'm not going to do much of that drop and hook contract freight that they got, the customer freight, just because of the fact I don't want to drop this trailer and end up with a dry van back in that system of you know, drop and hook. You can make money at it, but with their operation, it fell off pretty hard after the holidays. And if I'm going to be pulling spot market freight, I would rather be doing it with a reefer trailer. I just know it better. So from here on out, I'll probably be booking 100% of my freight, and you know, I've done that before in the past, so I kind of got a little insight on that. So we'll get to that. But first things first, the quality 19, Capital 19, whatever they're called these days, ceasing operations. They're going to wind it down by April 27th, I believe is when they're going to wind that down. They got 2 locations, one in Texas, one in Indianapolis. You know, because they're a Celadon spinoff, you know. So they said they were trying to sell the company, but they found no viable offers, and they cited a lot of trucks on the market as a reason they were having trouble. And you know, that kind of goes to my second topic I'll get to, of, you know, how to buy a truck. You know, you look at the Trucker's Coach. He's a pretty, you know, out there YouTuber as far as a big following. You know, and he tried to lease a truck through Capital 19, and yeah, it's no bueno. Like, it was like $100,000 for a 2016 Cascadia or 2017 Cascadia. You know, a truck you could probably get for 40 grand at a dealership. You know, give or take a couple thousand, and they want $100,000 by the time you pay it all out. It's just, you know. But if you do have one of those trucks, I would definitely be making some phone calls right now. I would not let this drag out just to see how it plays out. I would want to know way up front, because if they can't sell that company, you know, are they going to want all these trucks back? I don't understand how they would do it without taking those trucks back, because you know, if they're going to cease operation, they're not going to have those trucks out there on lease. They're going to have to get them back, and it's going to be a mess. And so the thing that made me think, and the thing got me wanting to put this in the video, is if you're lease purchasing a truck, and I don't think you should do that, because you can make more money as a company driver and have benefits if you're just going to do a lease purchase through one of these mega carriers or small carrier. I've never seen any of them really where the numbers work out all that great, and I've done it, and I spent 3 weeks in the Western Express lease purchase deal, and yeah, it was garbage from what I had experience with. So the part of the video here that I want to talk about, though, I seen a video the other day of a gentleman at US Express, not Western Express, US Express. He was on one of their lots talking about, or showing the trucks that they had available for lease purchase. And I noticed some of the mud flaps on these trucks had quality leasing mud flaps on them. So it makes me wonder, is US Express, are they, leasing these trucks through quality for, lease purchase guys to take over? So if you're going to do a lease purchase, I would recommend very heavily you find out where they're getting these trucks from, because you could be stuck, after you've put $50,000 into this $100,000, truck that ain't worth that. 50 grand you put into it, you could have already probably paid the truck off, But yeah, I would, if you're going to do a lease purchase, find out where they're getting their trucks from, because I know a lot of the carriers like Western Express, they take trucks out of their fleet that they probably would send to auction, or they would send to Lone Mountain or a place like that. Something that they would probably get, $40,000 to $50,000 trade-in on. They set it up as a lease purchase truck and try to get you to pay $80,000, $100,000 for it. So definitely, definitely would find out where they're getting their trucks from, and be concerned with that. So that's my advice on that, guys. And the second thing I wanted to talk about, somebody asked me what's the best way to buy a truck the other day, and I've got a little bit of experience with it. I've bought 3 trucks. This one now being the 3rd that I've bought from a lot. I don't have any experience buying them at the auction, so if you want something on that, check out a guy, HT Logistics, on YouTube. He does a lot of auction videos, going to the auction, kind of giving you insight on that. So just putting that out there. I did the lease purchase. That is the absolute worst way you could buy a truck. I mean, look at, like I said, I go back to that trucker's coach, with paying $100,000 for, a truck that's probably, like say, worth 50 grand on a lot somewhere. So, just save up your money as a company driver, and, you'll get there eventually if you're saving your money and doing the right things. You'll get enough. The first truck I ever bought was a T600 Kenworth. I bought it from the MHC dealership in Nashville, Tennessee. MHC doesn't require a whole lot to finance a truck through their financial arm. I think their requirements are like 650 plus credit score, like 20 to 25% down, 2 years of verifiable employment, and typically they want a letter of intent to hire. So they just want to make sure you can put the truck on somewhere, once they give it to you. I bought that truck for about $27,500. I think that's what I gave for it. That was a long time ago, but $27,500 I paid on that. I think I put about $8 grand down on that. So, you got to have a little money saved up, but at least you're not getting taken advantage of. You're buying a truck at market value doing that. You may overpay if you pay retail for it, but most of these places, if they see you're serious, you've got a serious down payment, you meet the criteria, you can whittle on them a little bit as far as either making them fix things that need to be fixed on the truck, or getting them to come down on the price some. So the next truck I bought was my 2013 Cascadia. I bought that from a smaller lot. That truck checked a lot of the boxes that I wanted at the time, but I think I overpaid for that truck looking back on it, because you know, I did have a lot of trouble with that truck, and yeah, you know, hindsight, I think I overpaid for it, but at the time it was kind of an okay deal. I paid market price for it, but it had a lot of the, you know, it checked a lot of the boxes that I wanted, so I went for it. This truck here came off a lot in Minnesota, major dealership, pretty good sized dealership there. Got a warranty on it through them. You know, we'll see how this one works out. Like I say, you never know, but I definitely felt like you know, this truck was priced right for what it was. And not only that, but if you drive by these truck lots, like when you drive by that Kenworth dealership, when you drive by that Volvo dealership, look at the used trucks they're bringing in on these lots these days. A lot of these small carriers just aren't upgrading like they used to with used trucks. A lot of people are going to the lease trucks. You know, they're out there. They're leasing these brand new trucks through Freightliner or whatever. So, you know, these trucks are piling up on the lot. I felt like, you know, I got quite a bit knocked off of what they were asking for this truck, and so, you know, they're more willing to work with you these days with things where they're at right now. So, my suggestion on buying a truck and how to buy a truck: number one, I would never do it through a lease purchase. They're just too expensive. You know, it's like, yeah, you could probably get a truck at market value from what I see and the numbers I run. Typically, you're overpaying by 30 to 50% with a lease purchase. It's just the way it is. Like, and not to mention, you know, they got their, you know, they got their thumb all in your pie when you do that. You know, they control too much of your business. But my suggestion, and like I said, I don't know anything about the auction. I've never done it that way, but my suggestion is, you know, get up around that 20 to 25% down payment, and you know, work with a reputable dealership and do your research is the big thing. You know, I went through the truck paper every month for probably 3 months, you know, just getting the prices of trucks, you know, checking truckpaper.com, checking the local dealerships inventory. I don't know, I prefer to buy a truck with from a dealer that's local. I'm not saying everybody should do that. That's just something I prefer. I like to have that relationship because, you know, if I do decide to go back to that lot, you know, I've got a little bit of, you know, I've done it once before. I kind of know what the deal is. So that's my suggestion. You know, get a nice down payment up. That way they know you're serious. And, you know, really whittle on them right now because they have too many trucks. They've got too much money tied up in inventory. And, you know, if they think they can get you financed, they will work with you on that price. You know, I got a pretty extensive warranty on this truck, and, you know, basically they paid for 2/3 of the warranty because of how much I got them to come down on price. So that's my suggestion right now. You know, if you want to buy a truck right now, I think it's a good time to buy a truck. You know, you went through the winter lull. You know, get them before spring starts rolling around, because there will be more people in spring. You know, like flatbed starts coming back, reefer picks up, so there'll be people, you know, looking to upgrade more then. That's just my opinion on that. But the third thing on booking loads and that, you know, how all that works, I had someone ask me, like, how do you do your revenue? Do you do a certain amount of revenue you need per day, a certain amount of revenue you need per week? And I say neither one. I don't, to me, that's setting myself up for failure. because there's going to be, like, if I say, okay, I need $1,000 a day, there's going to be a lot of days I can't turn $1,000. You set it to 700. There's going to be a lot of days you can't do 700 in revenue. So to me, if you set a revenue goal like that, yeah, it gives you something to achieve, but it also like puts a negative feel to your day or your week when you don't hit it. My suggestion, how I do it, is number one, know your numbers. I know my cost per mile. I know what I can operate for, what I can't operate for. Given it's going to change because I just got this new truck. The payment on this is about 1/3 less than what the Peterbilt was. So my cost per mile went down. It's and I do it every month. I kind of readjust my cost per mile every month, because there's going to be some months where my fixed costs are higher, where I like to take time off. Like in July, I like to take some time off. December, I like to take time off. So, the cost per mile goes up a little bit because I'm running less miles. My fixed costs go up. Fuel prices adjust, so you got to stay on top of your cost per mile. But number one, know your cost per mile. Do your best to not operate for less than that. Sometimes you may have to, if you got to get to a certain area, you're trying to get home from a bad area, you ain't got time to do a short run, pick up something else, then get home. Sometimes you just eat that crap sandwich and you wash it down with, the best you can, and you just move on. But I don't try to do revenue per day or per week or per month or per year. To me, that's, I don't like to have that. I don't like to have that stigma, in my head of, I didn't get it today, or I didn't get it this week, or I do it like this. I take the best load available, and when I say best load available, I mean all things considered. Where's it picking up? Where's it going? What am I going to have to do to get it there? How many days does it have on it versus, what it pays? Am I babysitting somebody's freight? Am I being a warehouse for somebody? Am I going through the mountains? Am I going to end up in an area where there's no freight? And all that stuff you just have to learn over time, everybody says, oh, don't go to Florida. Well, I got nothing against Florida. I'm going to get my money going in, and I'm going to deal with what I got to deal with getting out. But I'm going to get my money going in. So, to me, I pick the best load available when I need a load. I stopped today, took a 30-minute break, and, I found I was on the load board. There's not a lot in Montana right now. The load I'm going to pick up's got about a 300-mile deadhead on it. But it's going to an area that I know. It's going to an area where I can do really good coming out of. And to me, it's the best load available. So I booked it. I set it up. And does it pay, astronomical? No. But sometimes, I got paid good coming in here. I was over $3 a mile coming in here. It's going to be a good average after I pick that up and deliver that. And it's going to an area where I know I can pull out of at a really good rate also. So, that's the only way I see to do it without having a stigma or a negative approach or a negative feel to your business. I don't regret it because it was the best option I had at the time. Now maybe I could go get unloaded in the morning. Maybe there'll be something better there in the morning. Not going to regret it. I've already booked something. I've already got a strategy that I'm happy with. And I'm not going to sit around and kick myself and go, oh, if I didn't book that, because on the flip side, you look at it and I could get up tomorrow and there not be anything available. I mean, in Montana, it's not like there's a ton of industry here or, a ton of agriculture as far as, reefer freight. So it's like all the reefer companies up here could be snatching up all the loads tomorrow morning, and then I sit here all day. So at least, I don't regret when I do the decisions I make, because I think about them, I put some thought into them, I look at the overall picture, and I think that's the best way to pick freight. Learn your regions. It goes back to that thing I said in a couple videos back. You can have 20 years of experience, or you can have 1 year of experience 20 times. You have to learn from what you're doing. If you're not refining it, you're not making it better, you'll soon be bankrupt. To quote the movie Tommy Boy, if you're not growing, you're dying. So there's some truth to that. So to me, you constantly need to be learning and refining, and booking your own freight can be very rewarding and beneficial. And you don't sit around and blame dispatch, because you got nobody to blame but yourself if you pull a bad load. But I try not to kick myself too bad if I have to pull something I typically wouldn't pull, or if I misjudge an area. Like last spring I took a load to Florida because I thought Florida was still happening, and I got down there and it was like produce season just fell off like a cliff. So I had to run up to like Georgia, North Carolina, one of those I think, just to get a load back, to where where I normally operate. So I didn't kick myself. I'm like, hey, I thought I was doing the right thing. Sometimes you don't, but you better believe this year, that's in my head, that we probably will pay more attention to Florida before we go to Florida. It's just part of learning. I don't kick myself for doing it. I thought I was doing the right thing at the time, and that's the only way you're going to book freight without regret, I guess is what I'm saying. Is you take the best load available at the time, and you don't second guess it, and you do it, and you move on to the next one, and hopefully you learn the best way to do it for you before you go bankrupt. That's an easy way of putting it. But anyway, I hope that answered some questions for everybody. That's just one guy's opinion, and everybody does it different, and I don't know. Let me know how you do it. I appreciate all the comments. I love reading the comments. Be sure to subscribe. I appreciate that. I'm up to, I don't know, a lot of subscribers, more than I thought I would ever have. So thanks, everybody. Until next time, as the sun sets on me in beautiful Billings, Montana, take care of each other out there. Thanks for watching. Later.